All right, what's going on, everybody? Good morning, good morning, good morning. Happy Monday, July 15th. We're back at it for another edition of Mando's Morning Brew. If you haven't, please like and share this stream out there, and we'll get going here in just a few seconds. Nothing new here. Tesla is still a beast, gapping up. But there is one thing that I'm a little weary about that we'll get into in about 30 seconds. So let's go. Let me get my screen all shared up. I can't get the screen share going until we are live and active. So I got to do it as we get going here. So, okay, there's that. Beautiful, beautiful. There we go. Good morning, everyone. Yep. All right, let's do it. All right, now that everybody can see my screen, we'll start with NASDAQ as always for our market overview. Last week, believe it or not, we actually did form a bullish imbalance on the weekly time frame here on NASDAQ. If we were to zoom in a little bit here, and there it is, okay, right? Wick, body, wick, you'll see on either side of this candle, there are no wicks in that range from 273 to 335, 20,000 that is. So that is an untouched bullish imbalance here on the weekly time frame. So if price were to retrace into that level, my initial reaction or my initial expectation for reaction would be for a bounce out of that level. Now, there is a little bit of divergence between NASDAQ and ES, and let me show you guys that. For anybody who's not familiar with that, ES would be SPY. So there's a difference between QQQ and SPY right now, okay? You'll also look at or notice that Friday, believe it or not, we did not form a bearish daily fair value gap here with that high wick prior to that end of day dumper. We prevented the formation of that bearish fair value gap. Now, so far this morning, we have gapped up, giving us a bullish volume imbalance here on the daily. If we were to get an up close, same rules would apply. That level would be viewed as a support level moving forward. So we'll see how today shakes out. But like I said, there is a little bit of divergence here between the two. As we drop it down into the hourly time frame, just man, if you were watching on Friday, come on, you can't get more perfect than this. Did we not forecast the entire day? An hour before it happened. But anyways, we had the relative equal lows swept. We got into this hourly fair value gap down here in discount of our bullish hourly range, and we got a rocket as expected. Now that rocket brought us into discount of that overarching or smaller time frame bearish range right here. Why is that a bearish range or bearish price run? We took out low, low, low with that price run. Okay, there's your 50% mark, and that's ultimately where price gravitated towards. You'll notice I have showtime here. So just like we explained it on Friday, a showtime imbalance is something that I would consider where, to me, all bets are off. I would prefer not to be either long or short in that vicinity. I'd rather price shake itself out in that area. And following that, I feel like I have a pretty good idea of where price can go from this point. Now, like I said before, there's also divergence here, and that's really what's throwing me. The only loop that I have right now is coming from SPY as well. So take one last look here at the hourly time frame. You'll notice despite us getting into discount of our overarching range, a bullish imbalance, in fact, we ran up into this hourly bearish fair value gap right here and rejected right off the midpoint. Came down to see another imbalance before popping one more time back into this bearish imbalance. And that's currently where we sit. A few minutes ago, actually, we tapped down into this little bullish fair value gap right here. And so far, we have bounced from that level. Now, am I sold that this is going to reject and continue lower from this point? I personally am not. I'm hands off right now. I can totally see the vision for anyone who's bearish right now. But the reason why I am hands off is because if we were to slide over here onto the S&P or SPY, you're going to notice that this thing is way stronger, right? Okay, so let's pull on down, okay? And let's go to the price run that took out or shifted structure in the bullish manner, right? By taking out this high, okay? And the price run was from this low, and we got to go all the way up, okay? If you were to go to each one of these red candles, you'll notice that there was no retracement down into 50%. And all that's telling me is that there is no range set yet, okay? Now, the funky thing about SPY in relation to tech or QQQ is that we actually have not retraced into discount of SPY's overarching bullish range. That would bring you down to 5605, okay? Here's the catch, okay? We have SPY taking out those highs yet again right here, okay? There it is. Boom. All right. NASDAQ did not do that. So right now we have a little bit of SMT divergence, okay? We have one of the indexes taking out a high and one that did not, okay? So this area on SPY is also going to be crucial as well, right? So preferably for me, as someone who likes to trade on discounts, if you will, right? When price retraces back down to the mean of a specific range, okay? That's my model right there. Now, we are currently well in premium or overpaying inside that range, okay? So this is not all that ideal for me at the moment to be looking for longs, right? Doesn't mean that it can't happen, just something that doesn't really doesn't really hit on my risk reward criteria for longer term or more drawn out trade ideas, okay? So this is the imbalance. Again, this would be another instance where I could just type in showtime right here. Whoops, not timer. There you go. Showtime. And from this point, I think we're going to get a lot of answers, okay? Powell speaks today at 12 o'clock. False set up. Pretty decent move overnight. So, a sloppy and slow and boring morning session would not surprise me whatsoever here on a Monday, a summer Monday in that, right? So this would be the imbalance here. That's really make or break for me on ES and very similarly here on NASDAQ. That's all I'm really watching for the moment, okay? So until that gets itself shaken out, I really don't have all that much interest, and I believe that my futures brokerage is having trouble anyways, so that's going to prevent me from taking futures trades, and that is fine anyways, right? So that would be the overarching idea there on just the big board indices. So let me come on over here and check out. Okay, we got a comment here. Morning. Yep. Okay. So if anybody has any names they want to look at specifically, we can run through some of those as well. I'm going to just get into maybe 3 or 4 names that I looked at over the weekend that I like the best, and from there we'll get a move on. So let's. I got to go back over here and do this. Where are we? Okay. And let's get into quick draw, running through some individual names to close out this little show here. All right, so I saw a few names that just got commented. I will get to those very shortly here. But in the meantime, let's run through just a couple of the names that I was keying in on going into this week. So as always, GME is still on my board, right? This is a very interesting setup. It's just a matter of, at what timetable, right? Look, that's a beautiful hold of that weekly bullish imbalance right there. Last week we started to get going a little bit. You'll notice that we really don't have any bearish imbalances here on a higher time frame. Now on the smaller, that's where things get a little fishy. But here is your daily bearish fair value gap right here that we got into on Friday. Mitigating that level to me would be extremely bullish for a pretty nutty run, but that's the caveat. I would really want to see, really would like to see this level get mitigated right here, and that takes you above 27.41, right? So in short, that was GameStop. Now let's bring it on back over here because there's a few that are really sticking out to me. Affirm being the first, right? This is definitely much more of a higher time frame setup that is finally coming together here on the smaller time frame. So if we were to look here on the monthly, we took out this high here with this price run. Okay, notice how, what do we have right here? A discount bullish imbalance. Perfect. Okay, right off the midpoint of that imbalance, and so far so good. Affirm is up almost 2% pre-market here. We also have a bullish breaker here on the monthly time frame. So you have your low, high, lower low, break up and through the high of that sequence, and we can anticipate that candle acting as a support level moving forward. So there's your monthly breaker as well. So there's a lot of things lining up for this. My model would complete here at 52.48, and if we were to zoom out even more and look at our overarching range, and this Affirm isn't the only one here. There's a lot of names with absolutely massive ranges from that drop following their COVID, squeeze run-ups, right? So this is what you currently see here on Affirm with a massive range. Also worth noting that this right here, high, low, higher high, is a bearish breaker. Okay, and look what happened the first time we got into that breaker. It was a rejection. Now all of that is on the monthly time frame. That is a higher time frame setup. But if we were to break it down into smaller, you'll notice very similarly, low to your high. Here's your discount retracement, bullish imbalance, check, 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 all good. On the weekly time frame, you'll also notice that we actually don't have any of these imbalance untouched or unfilled at the moment. Okay, so every imbalance that was formed on the way down has been tagged on the way up. So I don't anticipate them causing all of that much trouble moving forward. Here we go on the daily time frame. Similarly, here you have a daily bullish fair value gap forming right here. Okay, actually I should say it's been formed. Look where we ran into some trouble. That's fine. Looks like already pre-market we're starting to get up and over it right now. Daily imbalance, we have buy side at 31.46. So you see how we have the overarching picture, and we can break that thing down into smaller little fragments in time as we continue on. Okay, so that is Affirm. Overall, just a solid higher time frame setup. Now here's Boeing as well. So Boeing got into its monthly bullish fair value gap a couple months ago here. Right there it is. You'll notice that we are approaching a bearish monthly fair value gap right here. Sorry, I have to rechart on the monthly due to the fact that got rid of all my chart layouts, but that's okay. But you got a couple of bearish monthly imbalances up here on Boeing. But if we break it down into a smaller time frame, here, let's go to the weekly. You'll notice that we held on perfectly to the weekly bullish fair value gap here. Last week, that was literally the low of last week. So ideally for bulls, we're going to get into that level, and we're going to start to make our way back up towards 92 and 96, these two buy side targets. From that point, you could fill the rest of that bearish fair value gap there as well. Okay, so that would be Boeing, higher time frame. We are discounted, and we are in a bullish imbalance here, or we did get into and get out of a bullish imbalance. All right, last one for me. I have a bunch more, but I'll go over the ones you guys want because I don't have all that much time. Again, if you haven't already, please like and share this stream on X, YouTube, whatever you're on watching this. Would appreciate that. Now here's for Disney. Disney, another one, looks very solid on the higher time frame here. Just a little bit more to go, I think. So here's your low to your high. Here's your discount retracement, right? We are below that 50% mark. Here's your monthly bullish fair value gap right here, okay? You will also notice that lines up with a monthly bullish breaker that we are holding on to for dear life. So your low, high, lower, low. Here's your break. So ideally, the game plan for me in this situation would be to tap that and ultimately close the month inside this bullish fair value gap up there, and that's at 98.96. That would be the most ideal situation there for Disney on the monthly time frame. Now here's the weekly. Here's your low to your high. You might say, oh, well, we had a price run here. Why didn't you mark this? No discount. No discount, no interest for me, and that's telling me that the range is still not set. We have relative equal highs up here on the weekly. We got our discount retracement. Now, there are a few bearish imbalances up here that have not yet been touched at all. This is the one that's really sticking out to me, and we got one more right here. But again, higher time frame setup, right? That could take time, but this is looks really good. Here's your weekly bullish breaker as well. So that would be Disney. Now, let me pop back over here. I see. Oh, now we got a bunch. Okay. All right. Let's roll. We'll go DJT first. So, obviously DJT is going to be a hype name following what had transpired this past week. So you'll notice with this current run already, okay, this was forming. This is no longer. Okay. This candle did not form. So once this candle opens up in about 12 minutes, you're going to notice that there will not be the formation of a bearish monthly imbalance. Okay. It's pretty interesting. Look what it got into. Okay. You took out that high right here with what run? Interesting. Okay, so the Mando model in this situation, again, this is not really the highest quality setup, to be honest with you. I know it. You're going to say, oh, well, look, Mando, we got into discount into a bullish imbalance. That's fantastic, right? Yeah, it's great. And ideally, targeting that 79.38 monthly time frame. Of course, as a monthly setup, there's going to be smaller time frame liquidity pools that when we get to them we can target. But the only reason I don't love this setup is just because we have this low here, that low here. That's relative equal lows. You have nothing in between these two on a higher time frame. That could spell for a low resistance liquidity run at some point, which I personally don't want to be a part of. So here's DJT on the weekly. Very similarly, okay, price run that took out those highs here from this low to that high. Here is your discount bullish volume imbalance right there. All good. Again, I know we got these relative equal lows, not all that ideal. We are going to open up somewhere in the vicinity of here, right there. And you'll notice that we really don't have any imbalances overhead, except that little volume imbalance, which we did get into and rejected. Okay, so we are mitigating this level right here, which is key for DJT bulls. Okay, so that's DJT. And again, like I said, that higher time frame, buy side target. There are smaller ones. You can literally use each one of these daily highs as an area in which that there has to be liquidity in, right? Why? What had to have happened here? Somebody had to have gone short. What had to have happened here? Somebody had to have gone short, right? So every time those shorts are taking place, what had to have happened? We're sweeping liquidity by doing so, right? And if the algorithm's job is to go get liquidity, it's going to be going to those swing highs and swing lows. Okay, so that's DJT. Now let's go over to crowd, CRWD. That's our next one here. Okay. All right. So CrowdStrike here on the monthly time frame. Okay, we're at all-time highs. Okay, all-time highs right now. No imbalance, suggesting that we're going to get some sort of retracement at this point. But I will show you low to your high. Here's your discount retracement. What did that get into? Okay, there's your first. Hold on. Here's your second. Okay, let me change the color on these so you guys can see. Here's one, and whoops. All right, forgive me on that red one. I don't feel like changing it. There it is. Let's see if I can get it. No. There. Okay. What is this? This is the Mando model. Low to your high. Here's your discount retracement into a bullish imbalance. There's your run for highs. Do you really think I care about earnings? Do you really think I care about any news that comes out on any of these names? Absolutely 0% chance. Okay. Sorry. You don't need it. All right. So following the take of this high right here, we shifted structure yet again to the bullish side, and I have to identify the range that took out this high in particular from that low to that high. Beautiful. Okay. So until I see some sort of higher time frame imbalance, nothing is suggesting anything lower. Okay. Here's where price got into at the end of last week. Now, this doesn't necessarily line up with my model. Preferably for me, I'd get a discount. That does not mean that we need to come into discount right now from this point, okay? We got into this untouched bullish volume imbalance right here. I'm just worried or weary. At some point, we are going to shift structure, right? Go on any chart ever. At some point, we've gotten some sort of discount retracement. We don't have it here. I do not front run a shift towards 50%. I do not do that until I see some sort of imbalance form to the downside. That is the only thing that would suggest lower prices. So at this point, this has shown nothing to me that price will retrace down to 50%. And until then, there's no way I'm shorting this. But with the longs, I'm very cautious due to the fact that we're nowhere near a discount. But you do have structure for this idea right here with this bullish volume imbalance here on the weekly. So that's CrowdStrike there on the weekly. Let's just look over here on the daily. I'm sure it's very similar. Okay, let's clear up this disgusting. Now, here's the price run that took out those all-time highs. Daily, we can shrink this up a little bit. And still, even on the daily, we are extended well into premium right now. So again, while we do have imbalances here, they're just not imbalances that I key in on and target due to the fact that we're not in discount. This is also a bearish breaker right here. High, low, higher high. Retracement up into this level right here. Okay. and that would be your bearish breaker. So I'm personally not interested in CrowdStrike. It doesn't really line up with my model personally. I could, make decisions, and I could trade this on a smaller time frame, but as a higher time frame bias, it would still technically be bullish, but not very encouraging by this right now. So again, I don't try and short things until they show me that they actually want to go down. Price earnings just makes price go where it wants to go faster. Yeah, that's about it. You're right. Let's see. What else do we have? Do we have any more? We did Disney there, Ivan. Hood and coin, and then I'm getting off here because I got to go do live trading. If you're interested in live trading, check out the group where we do that pretty much daily at this point. So here's Coinbase. Look, I know Coinbase is getting some love off Bitcoin right now, and while I'm happy because I have Mara, I personally would want Coinbase a little lower. That's just me. If I don't get it, so be it. But this is my I guess idea or game plan behind Coinbase. Now, we have this monthly untouched bullish imbalance right here that I would like to see price get into. Now, very similarly here on the weekly, here's the only thing. Yeah, we're above it, right? No, we're not. Okay. Here's your weekly bearish imbalance right here. We are currently trading at 229. So we are right inside that bearish imbalance yet again. Okay. This candle has not formed yet. It's Monday. When market opens, it will. But yeah, we're going to be somewhere in this vicinity inside this bearish imbalance. This is the key. You break above this, then I think you're golden for this move. This arrow draw that I did, this is what I would prefer. If I don't get it, so be it. But that would be more ideal for me. But that's Coinbase. So really, I'm riding Mara for my Bitcoin stock exposure, I guess. So that would be coin. And then now let's see, what do we got here? We got wait, what happened on YouTube/Rumble? What happened there? I see Snaz and Army is talking about that. All right, let's go over to Hood, and then we'll call it quits. So here's Hood. Another one pretty extended into premium. I do have shares of Hood, but here's your monthly time frame. Last month you got a bullish volume imbalance on the monthly. We tapped that the other day, and so far so good. Holding on to it. You have this untouched bullish imbalance down here in discount. Again, ideally for me, somebody who's trading options, I would prefer to buy in discount. So here's your range discount. Okay, we're well above it, but again, this has shown nothing to me that we want to reject at the moment. That can change, but at this exact moment, there's nothing indicating that it wants to go lower from this point. Now, a couple weeks ago, if you want, just type in the search bar at Mando Trading with the $ Hood. This was completely walked through and called by me. This was just begging to get hit up there at 23.74. If you don't believe me, go back in time by looking at my old tweets. I can't go back in time and tweet. So, but this is where we currently sit. Eventually, again, this doesn't necessarily have to happen. I would just prefer it as someone who would like to had some shares that I sold. I would prefer to get down at the discount, but that's pretty much everything in the market right now. But notice how we had that volume imbalance higher here. We are holding on for dear life, have yet to give that up, and have yet to create any sort of bearish imbalance here. So nothing for me. This, if anything, would be a smaller time frame trade, just as a scalp. But we gap up here on the daily time frame as well. So that's what we're working with. So far, so good. And again, buy side here would be 24.28. And you're making your way up above that bearish level right there finally after multiple attempts. So yeah, this is if you can get a confirmed close above there, I think it goes to 24.28. But again, this is not something that I really want to trade due to the fact that it's not in discount. So that's just how I line everything up to meet with my model specifically. So all right, that I think is everything for me at the moment. Now again, we are going to hop over into live trading now. If you want to do so, check out the link in the description of this YouTube video or on the live stream. We'll have a nightly call as well tonight. But that's all I have for today. I hope you enjoyed the morning brew. Thank you to everybody who liked and shared it. I appreciate that as always. And we will get after it. We'll talk soon.